we're gonna ignore that I'm in the same outfit because bulk filming is nice. Hey y'all, my name is Nat. I hope you're having a terrific day today, and for this video we are going to be continuing my series of series with series I am currently in the middle of. Alright, before we get into anything bookish, make sure to hit like and subscribe down below, as well as tell me in the comments what is one series you're currently working through. Yes, as I mentioned, this is the second video in my series of series. I got the idea for this from Dasha over at Mythic Pages, and I will put a link to the first video in which I discussed all of the series that I would love to start and are at the highest priority. I'll put a link to that in the cards as well as in the description down below if you didn't get a chance to see it. Let's go into the series that I am currently in the middle of. For a while, I was really on top of the fact that if I had started a series, I would continue reading said series the following month. Am I still doing that? No. No, I am not. No, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm really bad about continuing series lately, probably because of booktube. Let's be real, I just get too distracted by other things to stay with it. If it really wins me over, I might. Or, you know, occasionally I just toss out the rest of my TBR and continue on like I did with the Green Creek series. Not happening every day. So first at the top of my list, technically this is making the book a series, but it is more of a prequel, and that's Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. This is the prequel to The Hate U Give, which I loved, and I've been meaning to pick this up for so long. My best friend Allie bought it for me, and I have been terrible and just haven't read it. I'm so sorry. This story is following a Star from The Hate U Give's father, Maverick, who was one of my absolute favorite characters, and I believe this is based around his time when he was a teenager and he finds out that his girlfriend is actually pregnant with Star's older brother, Seven. He is trying to figure out the woes of fatherhood as well as dealing with school, and how he is trying to traverse his way through the relationship he has with a friend who I believe is also a gang member. I have heard good things about this and I do want to pick it up. I just haven't prioritized it, and I'm disappointed in myself because the family elements in The Hate U Give were some of my absolute favorite parts of that book. So I'm sure this is going to have more of it. Why am I like this? Following that one is a book that initially I was intending to pick up pretty quickly. That didn't happen though. That's gonna be Good Girl, Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. This is the second book in a Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I read the first one as a part of my YA Mystery 5x5. Totally loved it, really enjoyed the book. Pip won me over as an investigator. I thought she was very likable. It was really entertaining to watch her work through the story. I loved the multimedia elements. It was so refreshing and unique, helped the story stand out more, made it so we could try and solve the mystery alongside Pip. Didn't pick up the second one in October like I was initially thinking I would. Don't know when I will pick up the second one. I have heard the second one is just as good as the first. Next two are on the ongoing series shelf I have on Storygraph, although technically speaking they are more novellas set in the same universe as the Charlie Davidson books. We know, favorite series. It's surprising I haven't picked up these novellas because I have picked up every other one. They're usually 100-page pieces of fluff that just adds more to the characters or gives you a little bit extra smut in that one case. But this one, the first, is Gravedigger's Son? No, The Graveyard Shift. The Graveyard Shift is focusing on Garrett, who is one of Charlie's best friends, and he is watching after her child. Honestly, I don't know how old Beep is. Oh, I should explain. Beep is Charlie's daughter, but that was what she started calling her whenever she was pregnant with her. She just referred to her as Beep. And I don't know how old Beep is, but if she is old enough to talk, Lord knows she is definitely gonna have her mother's sass, and pairing a like 5-year-old with a ton of sass and Garrett Swoops, who is this hot piece of man candy and has a very little patience. I want it. I want it so bad. And I don't know why I haven't picked this one up yet. It's been out for over a year now and hasn't happened. I'm disappointed in myself. The other one, which is The Gravedigger's Son, is actually following two side characters from the Charlie series as well, and that is Quentin and Amber. Quentin is deaf and able to see apparitions of ghosts, and Amber is head over heels in love with him, let's be honest. They are teenagers in the main series, but I think they might be adults in this one, which has me so intrigued, and I really want to see how Dorinda Jones has characterized them as adults, and I can't wait for that, because those two were so freaking cute being in puppy love in the main series. So why haven't I picked this up to just further my love of these dumb characters? I don't know. I keep doing weird things with my hands, okay? Then we have Girl Gone Viral, which is the second book in the Modern Love series by 𝗖cie RH. The first book was The Right Swipe, and I was really surprised that I enjoyed it as much as I did. This one, I believe, is following Katrina, who was best friends with Rhiannon in the first book. Katrina, who is silent owner of Rhiannon's dating app, there we go, and she ends up basically kind of unintentionally becoming internet famous and isn't loving that because she likes to stay away from the limelight and is incredibly anxious. She ends up hiring a very handsome and adorable friend who is also a security guard to work for her, and sparks fly. I think this is friends to lovers, which not my favorite trope, but I really enjoyed 𝗖cie RH's writing the first time around. I thought she did a great job in doing the dual perspectives as well as tackling some heavier subjects alongside the romance, so I need to pick this one up. When will I? I don't know. Next, technically speaking, this is the first book, but it is the same characters and universe of the Fence series, and that one is Fence Striking the Distance by 𝗖cie RH. I only know that this is also set at the fencing academy, which our main character Nicholas attends, and I think it's just a novel continuation of the graphic novels. I'm a little disappointed by because I really enjoyed the graphic novel medium for the story. I thought it was gorgeous artwork and it really translated well for the sport, but I'm still intrigued to try out the novel and see how it translates in that format. I believe the story is just continuing, in which Nicholas is trying to improve his fencing abilities and the coach is trying to make the team actually work as a team and not be constantly competing against one another. The next series that I would love to continue is Dark is the Night by Kelly York and Rowan Altwood. I started the first two books and I read the little Christmas novella. Well, it turns out apparently the main relationship that is focused on in those books actually is not the same as the next two books. There is a little novella which is called Shimmer is the Night, which is supposed to lay the groundwork for the relationship we're supposed to be seeing in the next book. These are paranormal mystery stories set in, I think it's like late 18th century England at a all-boys boarding school, and is revolving around forbidden gay romance, and honestly, I love that. I think the thing that is holding me back is the fact that it is not going to be focusing on William and James anymore and will instead be looking at another couple who met at the school and is now starting to try and figure out their relationship, I believe, after they've graduated. That's kind of why I actually have a reason I haven't picked these up yet, but I do want to continue with the series because I love that this is historical, paranormal, mystery with romance. That's so much to put together, and yet it's all the things I love, and I just ate those books up. After that one is The Dublin Murder Squad, specifically Faithful Place by Tana French, and this is a series of mystery stories in which I believe it is following different characters who are all a part of this Dublin Murder Squad. This one, I think, however, is set 20 years prior to the last two and is following one of the more senior detectives. That's honestly all I really know. Tana French's mysteries are very well done and the atmosphere is fantastic. However, they're really slow moving, and that does kind of take away from some of my interest because I love mysteries and I love thrillers, but I do need a bit more fast-paced movement with them to keep me interested. So while I am very intrigued to continue this series, not really high on my priority list, it is still tagged as ongoing series on Storygraph, but this might be one of those where I will really have to be in the mood to pick it up. Okay, and then finally is another one where it is actually a prequel, and this is going to be the Practical Magic series by Alice Hoffman. So the first book is actually Practical Magic. The book she came out with after that was the prequel, The Rules of Magic. Have it right there, and I really enjoyed The Rules of Magic actually more than Practical Magic. This one is now a prequel to the prequel, which is Magic Lessons, and I think this one is When is this one set? I don't even remember. Oh, okay, so this is actually set in the 1600s, and I believe is following the story of Maria Owens, who was accused of witchcraft in Salem, Massachusetts, and maybe is the reason that this curse started in the first place. That might be right. I really have loved the witchy elements that Hoffman has established in her world, and I really enjoy the character relationships. The sibling dynamic in Rules of Magic was just one of my absolutely favorite things, and so I don't necessarily know if this one will have that, which is one of the things holding me back from continuing. On top of that, I also just kind of have to go in expecting there will be some sort of a tragic love story. I have to be prepared. Once upon a time, I ate those up. Nowadays, I want my happy endings, and I don't see that happening with this, especially since she's a witch and it's in Salem during the 1600s. Okay, and then for this last little section, I'm just gonna list off a few books that I would love to pick up but are unfortunately not out yet. However, they are the continuation of series which I'm already caught up on. So first up is apparently Karen M. McManus is coming out with a third book for the One of Us is Lying series, and that one is called One of Us is Back. I have no idea who it is focusing on this time around. The first one had our Bayview 4, and following that, the connection in the second one was one of the main characters was Bronwyn's little sister. Bronwyn was one of the Bayview 4 in the first. I don't know what's going on in the third one, but it's Karen and McManus, so I'm gonna try it out. Then I have A Hard Day for a Hangover by Dorinda Jones. This is the last book in the 𝗖cie bych series, which I have absolutely loved. I can't really tell you anything of what I guess this is going to be about because that would provide spoilers for the second book. So the main story is following our main character, 𝗖cie bych, recently became a sheriff in the small town she grew up in. Also has to deal with all of the drama of her teenage daughter now falling in love with mysteries, and her old flame from the past is in town and she has to interact with him for the first time in 10 years. I cannot wait to get my hands on this last book. I need as much Levi as I can get, okay? That man is just dreamy. Then Homicide and Halo Halo by Mia P. Manansala. This is the second book in the Tia Rosie's Kitchen Mystery series, which is a cozy mystery series that I started back in July, I believe. I really enjoyed the first book. It does have a little bit of a love triangle, which I'm not on board with. Food descriptions in this were amazing, but I can't wait for the second one. I'm very intrigued to see how it will progress forward. I really am interested to see how the main character may improve and mature as the story progresses, and how she might possibly improve as an investigator as well. This next one will be coming out here shortly, but unfortunately it's not soon enough, and that is Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong. This is the follow-up book to These Violent Delights, which I adored. It is a Romeo and Juliet retelling set in Shanghai, 1920s, and is following two rival gangs. Romeo and Juliet have already been a couple once upon a time, but a tragic incident has broken them up, and yet they end up having to work together to figure out this awful mystery that is harming people within the city. I loved the first book so much. It was so good. I'm usually not a Romeo and Juliet kind of person, but Chloe Gong really made me love these stupid characters. I also just had a great time falling in love with all of the side characters that she managed to develop as well. I can't wait for this one to come out. I'm so excited. This cover is beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Finally is one that I have no idea when this is coming out. It's been pushed back a few times now, and that is the last book in the Legacy of 𝗖cie series by Tomi Adeyemi. I read the first book, Children of Blood and Bone, and fell in love with this fantastic and interesting magic system that she's created and based on Druby culture. I was really won over by the characters. Looking back, and I can definitely admit that this is super tropey. I am very excited for the third book. The second book was a bit of a drop from the first, but I'm so interested to see how this story is going to officially close out. I'm gonna be waiting and waiting and waiting. That's unfortunate. Alright y'all, so that is it for today. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. As always, make sure to hit like and subscribe down below, and tell me in the comments, have you read any of these series? I have my Storygraph, Instagram, Goodreads, and Tumblr linked in the description down below if you would like to keep up with what I am reading. I come out with videos on Monday and Friday, but until then, I hope you continue to have a terrific day. Love you, bye!